Hello. You're on our ship. Do you recall being here before? I restored a portion of your memory so that you can recognize your surroundings. It should help make you more comfortable, less likely to panic. Yes, it's me. We spoke before. You were conscious for part of the last round of tests. Yes, we shook hands. We haven't finished the study of your species yet. There is much more to learn, and you are one of our recurring subjects. It only makes sense that you would be back here. You're still in the stasis field. That part has not changed. Don't waste your time trying to move. As I explained before, it's for your protection and our own. But I have already administered the calming agent, so you should not feel too concerned about your lack of mobility. You are as eager as ever to communicate. I recall that from our last meeting. If you remember being here before, then you already know the answers to some of your questions. You know why you are not permitted to see me. You know we are not here to provide you with information. It's very much the other way around. That is a better question. You are awake because I chose to wake you. I was reviewing the results of the previous examinations. I found some of your observations interesting. Your consciousness during the last examination was distracting, but it also piqued my interest about your species in different ways. It was an accident last time that you woke up at all, but that is not the case this time. I convinced my superiors that a thorough study of your species cannot be accomplished without some form of interview process. Self-reported data can be extremely useful. So I was granted permission to bring you back and speak with you further, under carefully controlled conditions, of course. I'm not sure what you mean. You think I missed you. That doesn't make sense. Teasing. What is that? Oh, then you are teasing me. No, I don't mind. Comments like that are part of the reason why I find an interview important to pursue in the course of a thorough examination. We can study a great deal from a distance, but the nuances of language and interaction can be elusive. Well, I suppose it's good that you're happy to be here, although it's possible I gave you too much calming agent. If you start to feel sleepy, notify me. All right, I've compiled a list of topics that I intend to question you about. They cover a wide variety. We may not be able to discuss all of them in this one examination. It may take multiple interviews. As I said, nuances. I wish to learn more about the way humans interact with each other. Social situations, nonverbal dynamics, relationships. I'm not sure I understand you. I don't need an excuse to speak to you. This interview is entirely scientific in nature. Thank you for your willingness to cooperate. Before we get started, are you comfortable? Well, no, of course you can't be permitted to move, but I don't wish you to be uncomfortable while you're in stasis. Good. No, you may not see me. That is not required for an interview. You can answer my questions without viewing my physical form. It does not matter whether you are pleased with this arrangement. This is how it must be. If you don't like the format, I can simply sedate you and return you to Earth. I can always choose a different subject for my interview. Are you sure you don't prefer that? I don't want you to be resistant to this process. Very well then. Are you prepared to answer my questions? I don't understand. You did that before. You attempted to barter with me. Your compliance in exchange for physical contact. Now you're attempting the same thing, but you wish to exchange your cooperation for visual engagement. Do I comprehend correctly? Did you not hear what I just said? If you don't want to proceed under the parameters already set, I can return you to Earth right now and choose another subject. I don't understand why you think you have any leverage. This is not a negotiation. That is not accurate. I do not require you specifically for this interview. Any human will do. Do you wish me to send you back? Then please stop trying to manipulate me into granting concessions. Yes, I said please. I will extend all courtesies to you as long as you do the same. Are you ready to begin now? What is the issue? I find myself increasingly frustrated. Of course I feel emotions. My species feels a wide variety of emotions. We simply don't order our lives around them or act on them at the level that humans do. You lead with your emotions, from what we can tell. We keep ours at a manageable level. I think it's fairly obvious which species has the more reasonable approach. It does not matter. I will compartmentalize my frustration and renew my focus. This research is important. To be perfectly honest, I would rather you comply than force me to send you back. I find you interesting, as a subject. Thank you. I do appreciate your assistance in this process. Let's begin then. Regarding interpersonal relationships, in your culture, mature humans form pair bonds in most cases, correct? I said most, not all. Humans share in the effort of raising the young, correct? Most of the time, that is. Can you please explain in detail the foundation and evolution of modern gender roles as they manifest in your culture, as well as the societal shifts that have impacted those gender roles in recent decades? Please feel free to theorize about future developments in this topic if you feel informed enough to do so. Oh, is that the case? I apologize. I did not intend to pose questions that extend beyond your personal knowledge or experience. What is your area of professional expertise? That will likely not be helpful to me. I will adjust my line of questioning. I will bypass the general questions and focus on the more subjective content that is consistent with your own individual experience. Does that suit you? Excellent. Can you tell me about your experience with interpersonal relationships? Was that too broad a query? Let me rephrase. Do you have any experience with interpersonal relationships? You have experience with parental figures and other family members present during your formative years. Good. You interact with other humans in the workplace, educational system, and other significant spaces within your society. All right. You have friendships, bonds with other humans of similar interest and experience. Good. You have romantic relationships. Noted. Please tell me more about those. The romantic relationships. Are you currently engaged in a romantic relationship with another human or humans? I am curious what brings some humans together but not others. I am aware of factors like sexual orientation, personal hygiene, shared interests, and cultural influences, but the more subtle details elude me. What makes one human more desirable than another, all objective factors being equal? Can you elaborate on that? Interesting. Can you tell me more about these elements? I have heard of chemistry in this context, yes, but I have not fully comprehended it. That is difficult to understand. If another human matches a majority of your required qualifications for a mate, and you do the same for them, what more is required? Obviously, emotions must come into play, otherwise the relationship might as well be nothing more than a contract. But how are those emotions influenced? How can they vary so profoundly? Yes, I have heard that they can change over time, not always to a positive end. It does seem that much of the way humans engage each other romantically is paradoxical. I have even learned of humans who have completely defined what they seek in a mate, and then they encounter another human who matches almost none of their qualifications, and they still develop intense, even long-standing feelings for that person. How is that possible? Are human emotions so lacking in focus or control that they can vary so drastically from what the logical mind demands? That is both fascinating and unsettling. And it does explain a great deal about some of the directions your species has taken over the millennia. Interesting. So when you, in particular, are looking for a partner, what qualities rank as the most important? Take your time. I would appreciate a well-thought-out response. I see. What else? All right. And what makes those more important than other factors you might consider? You seem to find it difficult to answer some of my questions. Have I administered too much calming agent? I understand. My questions are not as easy to answer as perhaps I had anticipated. I expected more logical responses to what is evidently not a logical topic. My apologies. I can respect that. Much of what humans feel is random, even impulsive. The chemicals that operate in your brain don't always do so in predictable ways. I do appreciate your attempts to explain it to me. I think we have a fundamental cultural divide that prevents me from fully understanding, but I can record your responses for later analysis. Please feel free to tell me anything else you might wish to share on this topic. Certainly, if you feel comfortable putting it into words, tell me what you like. That isn't what I meant. No, you can't respond that you like me. The topic at hand is romantic relationships. Please frame your discussion in that context. I believe you are teasing me again. You don't have any real knowledge of me, and we are discussing human interaction. I am very much not human. It is incomprehensible that you would have any positive emotional reaction to me at all. Yes, you are human, and I suspect you have too much calming agent. You are showing signs consistent with intoxication. I didn't say you're drunk. And isn't that something drunk humans frequently say? That they are not drunk? That does not signify. I have no idea why you're making this illogical claim. But in the interest of science, I will indulge you. Why do you say that you like me? What factors have come into play to generate this outcome? I have shown you no affection at all, merely intellectual curiosity and professional interest. I have done my job and collected data according to all specified parameters. The handshake was your idea, not mine. I agreed to it to secure your compliance. That is correct. I could have forced your compliance without the physical contact. I am unsure why I did not force your compliance. I suppose I did not want to. Because I was interested. No, I was not interested in you in a romantic sense. But I suppose I was interested in the sensation that you proposed, the physical contact. I have never touched a human without protective gear, nor have I touched a conscious human before. It was a novel experience. My scientific curiosity was piqued. But it was still not a logical action, and I remain concerned that my superiors will discover it at some point. I see. That does clarify things a bit. You like me because I was, from your perspective, kind. I allowed you to remain conscious for part of your examination. I allowed the handshake to happen. And now I've allowed you to continue speaking with me. I can see why those might be reasons for you to look favorably on your interactions with me. Although the fact that we've been examining you without your knowledge for most of your life would conceivably be a reason to look less favorably on us. I appreciate that you are no longer resistant to our involvement in your life. But as I said before, we will keep our disruptions to an absolute minimum. When you leave here shortly, we will once again erase your memories of this place. You won't remember this conversation, nor will you remember me. And now that I look, it is very nearly time to send you back. Strange, I am usually so much more cognizant of the passage of time. There is no room for bargaining on this point. We discussed this before. You are not permitted to retain knowledge of the ship, or of me, after you leave here. But recall this. If I am the one to bring you back here for further examinations, I can restore your memories again, so that we may continue the interview, just as I did today. I do not know if I will be the one to return you here when the time comes. I can put in a request, but that is all. The outcome is up to my superiors. Yes, I did request to be the one to work with you today. As illogical as that is, I think I understand why you make that claim. You think I like you because I have made concessions for you. You think I am partial to you because I permitted the handshake. I will not deny a certain interest in you, as a subject. Your observations have been very helpful to my research. Remember, I am not human. I speak in a way that you can understand, but I experience things quite differently from the way you experience them. My emotions function differently from yours. And you are somewhat impaired from the calming agent. I will have to make a note to use less next time. It is possible you will need very little of it as you grow more comfortable in my presence. I appreciate your positive words. I am glad that you aren't afraid. It's almost time to sedate you again. No, I cannot wait any longer. You must return to Earth as scheduled, or our entire operation could be jeopardized. I know you are not pleased by that, but it is the nature of our current situation. Neither you nor I can change it at this juncture. Let me get the sedative prepared. As you will not remember this when you return home, I will share one additional thing. I am also glad that you claim to like me. I am not sure why, but I feel pleasant. It is difficult to describe. You may tease me as you wish. It does not affect me in any particular way. Before I send you back, may I do one more thing? I would like to shake your hand again. I would like to experience it a second time and compare it to the first. No, it is still not permitted for me to do so, but I am finding myself less inclined to adhere to the parameters of my mission. Another exchange. What could you want in exchange for a handshake? I should have anticipated that. Another request for visual contact. I have repeated myself on this point far too many times. Of course, your memory will be erased. That is the protocol. It matters because even if we remove the memories of this experience, remnants may still linger. We must minimize contact in order to reduce the chances of exposure. I can offer you a compromise. Do not speak, just listen. In a moment, I will reach through the stasis field and take your hand. 3 seconds after that, I will activate the sedative and begin the work of erasing your memories and sending you home. Right before I activate the sedative, I will release the stasis field around your head. I will count down to that moment. You will have less than a second to turn your head and look at me. That is all. If you fail to move quickly enough, you will not get another chance. Also, in light of my protective gear, you will not see many specific features, but you should see 2 things well: the outline of my form and my eyes. Blink if you understand me. Good. It's time to go home, human. I'm reaching into the stasis field now. Ready? 3, 2, 1.